This is KUGAN, CASSIUS for Rifle TV in association with Macklin's Gym Marbella with the first Frampton
You
Quigg
like a
press
cat that's got
conference.
the cream.
So funny.
It's a great press conference.
So funny. You know what?
It just come out of nowhere, though,
know.
didn't it? I said, we were cracking on, and I just texted Adam Smith and said, ask some questions, because I knew that all you had to do was just light the paper, and it was away.
I know.
And that's what happened.
It was brilliant. Let's talk on some of the things that we talked about in that. Just to clarify, it is the IBF Carl Frampton's belt and the Super WBA Super Bantamweight title on the line 27th. That's all clarified and done. So all this stuff about manufactured world champion.
No, it doesn't matter. Listen, this is a great fight. Scott Quigg's quite light-hearted about the belt situation. You know that. And the fact is he believes that at the end of the night he's going to be the unified champ and he's going to have the IBF belt as well. So the belt stuff's just a good little bit of sort of added banter juice to the equation, and those two getting under each other's skin. And as you saw there, they were under each other's skin. Well, Scott was under Carl's skin because he just flipped off on one, started swearing and everything.
I know.
Came out of nowhere.
You can watch all this on IFL, by the way. I don't know how much the Sky will show that. Has Quigg been elevated to that, or is it up for grabs on the night?
I mean, you're asking me questions that you should really ask the WBA. As far as I know, Scott Quigg is the sole world champion right now, and Rigo is in recess. He's fighting a 10-rounder, I think. On
Canelo Cotto.
So.
Okay. So obviously coming back to that, when we knew one of the stumbling blocks from this fight was the venue situation. It is going to be in Manchester. No, Scott's not from Manchester, but it is in Scott's advantage that. But you believe that they didn't want to come here?
No, they didn't want to come to me. Of course they didn't. But they said that was part of the negotiation. It's all, listen, I'm having a great time because I'm really going to wind them up over this next 14 months because they're really quite intense people. So, and because it's a co-promotion, you don't have to be so sort of corporate, if you like. You don't have to be so neutral. And this is what you're in the game for. I'm so desperate for Scott Quigg to win this fight. And so is Joe, and so is Scott. And they feel exactly the same. I want to walk into arenas with my heart beating through my suit. Banging the canvas, just desperate to win. And when Scott Quigg knocks Carl Frampton out, I'll be over the rope. And that is what sport is about. Forget the money. He's going to make a fortune in this fight. They both are. Good luck to him. I'd trade all that for the win. And I just can't wait for tomorrow in Manchester. Get yourself down. It's in Manchester Arena, in the actual arena itself, for the public press conference Wednesday at the Europa Hotel in Belfast. It's going to be a lot of fun because that's just a taster. And I've got plenty more.
It was asked about the split. You said that was private. Yeah. Carl kind of gave an indication to say it was better than...
He got a better split than Scott.
Yeah.
Didn't get the split he wanted, but got a good split. He's travelling. Bigger draw, I think. Yeah. So both fighters are going to earn a huge amount of money, and good luck to them. This fight will secure their future for a long, long time.
Talking to Barry McGuigan now, asked him about why this fight had taken so long to obviously materialise. He mentioned obviously you two having a fallout a couple of years ago, but your relationship with him now, obviously, to have made this fight has got to be on some sort of decent level. And
I think because I have so many relationships, I kind of forget about them, like the ones that have broken down. So for them, obviously, that's still in their mind that they fell out with me years ago. But I have the ability to stay focused on what's right for the business, stay focused on what's right for my fighter. So I don't let emotion get in the way of negotiation. That's the difference with me. They look at me, they can't stand me. Right? They can't stand me.
Are you talking about specific individuals? You're talking about the whole team?
All of the whole team.
Okay.
But I look at them as the route for Scott Quigg to unify the division. It's just total, I'm cold towards it. I don't feel negative, I don't feel positive. I just look at them and smile because they're just part of the jigsaw They're just in the way. They're coming with us for the journey. I'm giving them the platform. I'm giving them the money, and then when they've been dealt with, they can go away.
Listening to that top table, right? I'm surprised this fight even got made.
Yeah, because I told you why. In the press conference, I said, if this was Barry McGuigan and me, or if this was Barry McGuigan and my old man, when you become older, you can't be bothered to deal with the rubbish. But it's my job to deal with the rubbish, so I have to put up with it all. And Jake McGuigan, who I have to give a lot of credit to, wanted to make this fight. We found a way. We overcame so many hurdles to make this fight. But if it was me and Barry, we just saw on the top table. Imagine us, that lot, sitting down trying to have peaceful negotiations. Differences between me is I will do the right thing for our business, for our broadcaster and our fighters by keeping a straight head. They let emotion take over. That's why they all lost their rag for the press conference. And they're going to lose their rag tomorrow. They're going to lose their rag in Belfast. And they're going to lose their rag for the most of this build-up. But don't take it personally. It's only a bit of fun. It's only part of the show.
I know. Do they have a point about who the A side and B side of these fighters? No, but just
who the A side is. So we're bringing all the money to the table, right? And by we, I mean Scott Quigg. Is Carl Frampton the bigger name? Yeah, probably. But I'd say he's the bigger draw than Scott Quigg. So if one's getting a couple of % more, it's irrelevant. Someone's getting beat, someone's not getting beat. You know, people are either gonna be saying, Eddie Hearn, Scott Quigg, or they're gonna be going, we told you so. But that's part of the fun. You know, that's why everything is on the line on February 27th. So much on the line. I told you, take all the money away, give it away. Scott Quigg, you know, it's not even thinking about the money. He's a pure competitor, and what I've learned about Scott Quigg is he has improved so much mentally, physically. And we talk about who's more dedicated, trust me. Scott Quigg's dedication is on another level, and he will beat Carl Frampton.
Two things I've noticed about the backdrop. First of all, just Frampton Quigg. Was that somewhere in the negotiations that his name would come first? Yeah. Second of all, there's no channel on there.
Yeah.
But are we assuming this would be a box office?
We're going to announce, obviously, the broadcast details. I think it doesn't take a genius to work out where it's going, but you know, we've moved this forward quite quickly. Obviously, we announced it, we got it signed and announced it live on air. The press conference was a week later, so you know the fight's not till February 27th. So you're right in your assumptions.
It's quite a long time, sort of, until February 27th.
Yeah.
How do you think this build-up between the two camps is going to go? Because I asked Barry, and you know,
I hope we meet as much as possible. And Manchester's going to be great. Belfast, I'm going to get booed out of town. Scott's going to get booed out of town. But that's pantomime. Shakespeare said, all the world's a stage, and this is exactly what he meant. It's all a big act. It's all a big fun. I don't, you take me out and Barry over there, we'll have a beer or whatever. But I'm going to annoy you. I'm going to get under your skin, because that's what you want, isn't it? Isn't that what you want?
Of course.
Isn't that what the viewers want? I mean, that's part of the fun.
As in regards to the undercard, when will you start to work towards
We're
that?
starting on it now. We've got 4 fights each. I think they've got Conrad Cummins, Kakachi, who I got told off by Carl, didn't pronounce the name right. Josh Taylor, the young GB fighter. Marco McCullough. And, we've obviously got a lot of fighters. It'll be a good card. And where possible, we're going to try and match their guys against our guys. But they can't lose every fight on the card. Do you know what I mean? Because then it's going to be a really bad night for them. Because if they match their guys against our guys, there's not going to be one Cyclone win. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of feel like you should give them a couple.
Okay. Right. You recently announced a couple of days ago, December 12th is predictably, I think, pay-per-view, box office. Seen a little bit of, or a lot, I don't know whichever way you want to look at it, criticism and stick come your way about whether this card's pay-per-view or not. The whole pay-per-view situation comes up again. Your thoughts?
I think it's a huge night of boxing. I think we sold 17,000 tickets in 3 hours. I think Anthony Joshua is already one of the biggest stars in world boxing. He's in a huge domestic grudge match for the British and Commonwealth title against someone that has beaten him before. You've got Chris Eubank Jr. in a final eliminator against Spike O'Sullivan. It's a wonderful fight. You've got Bellew Masnack, you've got Mitchell Campbell Warrington. Everyone's going to have their opinion, I'm comfortable with it. I think it's a strong pay-per-view. I'll ask you the question, do you think it's pay-per-view?
Would I pay for this card and not moan about it? Yes, I would pay for this card, and no, I wouldn't moan about it. I can understand, with no world title fights, why some people would moan about it.
I guess it's a yes or no. Do you think the card's pay-per-view?
Yes.
Thank you. You said that a lot slower than you did when I've asked you before.
No, I do think it's
You
pay-per-view.
also sent me a text saying that if you make these 2 fights, this is a card, this is one of the best cards I've ever seen. And it is. And all I can tell you is that people talk about May the 30th card. Yes, it had 3 world title fights. This card will do double the buys of May the 30th. It is a huge, huge night of boxing that will create a huge amount of attention. And all I can say to you is that since I've been promoting, I've done 6 Sky Sports box office pay-per-views. 1 has been disappointing, and that was Bellew against Cleverly. This will not be disappointing. So my strike rate is very good. And again, I can't stand there as a promoter and say, well, if you don't want to buy it, don't buy it, because that's an ironic view. But this is the situation. I believe you're going to have huge value for money. I think the hype, the exposure, the anticipation for this night is going to be massive, especially with Chris Eubank Senior in the Zen. I don't know if you've seen that last night on I'm a Celebrity. But jokes aside, it's a huge night of boxing, and it's going to do huge numbers.
It will do huge numbers. Just let me ask you though, can you understand without world title fights why some people would sort of moan or begrudge?
Yeah, possibly, but then I look at the size of the fight. I mean, this fight, Joshua White, is a lot bigger than Brook against
Gavin.
Eubank against Spike O'Sullivan is a lot bigger than Selby against Gradovich. Right? That's just that's the truth. Doesn't have a world title strap, but column inches, expectations and anticipations from fans on another level. So, yeah, I understand that point. Yeah, there's not May the 30th had 3 world title fights, but this has, in my opinion, bigger, more anticipated fights.
I agree with that.
Thank you.
I agree with that. People are going to start slagging me off now, but listen, I think it's a good card. I'm not going to just.
I totally understand people's opinions, and in an ideal world, everything in life would be free.
In fact, I'm very much looking forward to the card.
I bet you are.
Like I said,
it's going to do unbelievable numbers for you.
It's going to do great numbers for us.
Yeah.
The pay-per-view, you'll see the pay-per-view, how much it's going to do. Is it a better card than the 30th?
From a trade point of view, perhaps not. But from an anticipation and a size and a hype, and yes, by a mile. And we'll see that in the numbers.
And this is a better card than Cleverly Bellew as well.
Yeah. I can't remember that night. It's been eradicated from the memory.
I know the pay-per-view numbers.
Unbelievable. But that's because it's the same kind of thing you had. Let's be honest, there wasn't anyone that wasn't expecting Bellew Cleverly not to be a great fight, and it wasn't. There wasn't many that was expecting Callum Smith against Rocky Fielding to go in a round. And on February the 28th, there won't be a lot of people that were expecting Scott Quigg to take Carl Frampton out early.
27th.
But 28th. I said March, February.
Oh, okay. Right, yesterday, David Hay tweeted a lot, Bellew tweeted a lot. People are assuming for some reason that you're adding Hay to this card on the 12th.
Definitely not.
Definitely not.
Put down the expectancies of people already. No. Yeah. Bellew wants to fight David Hay. It's Lord knows. But I'm not talking to David Hay about him fighting on December 12th. And not really about him coming back. There's been some discussions over the last 12 months about was inviting him onto certain cards, but nothing recently.
Can we rule out George Groves as well?
For the 12th?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Can we rule out Derek Chisora?
Yes.
Okay.
But
when will you announce?
We're working on it, and I don't do myself any favours when I say there could be a major name. So we're working on it over the next 24, 48 hours, and there's we're just waiting on sanctioning as well regarding Mitchell's fight.
And what about Luke Campbell?
Again, announced this week.
Okay. Anything else to add? Doesn't really matter because I can catch up with you in Manchester tomorrow.
I'm trying to add a fight to the Klitschko Fury card on November 28th, one of our top boys. And this weekend, massive night of boxing. 2 British title fights, 2 world title fights, and so many other great fights from that arena as well. Of course, Crawler against Perez. Crawler looks in unbelievable nick. Martin Murray against Abraham. A lot of people asking me how that's going to work. We're going to have 2 hours of action from Manchester Arena, 8 till 10. Then we're going to go to Hanover for Abraham against Murray. Then we're going to go back to Manchester for Crawler against Perez.
And also, don't forget, live 1 AM on BoxNation, Canelo versus Cotto. It's
Good
on.
fight, good fight.
It's a good fight. It's a good
1
fight.
in the morning. It won't come on till about 5.
Yeah, but coverage starts tomorrow.
All right,
That's what I'm saying. All right, well, listen, we'll catch up with you tomorrow.
Yeah. If you're watching, get yourself to Manchester Arena tomorrow. Trust me, it's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to happen. Josh Warrington, quickly.
Yeah, December 12th.
Against
Announced this week.
Bronco 2?
No.
No.
Who's the other guy?
Tuberon.
Yeah, 2 beer on 2.
All right, Eddie Hearn, thanks for all the time, TV.
Cheers, mate.